Hey everyone, it's Tammy with Beaded Windsocks. When I'm not beading, I'm crocheting. When I'm not crocheting, I'm beading. And in today's podcast, I actually have both. Okay, I have works in progress regarding both. I have acquisitions, and then I have shout-outs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. At the end of this segment also, I will be posting another video on my cardigan and pictures of little one's cardigan so that you can see the before and the after transition of her two panels. Okay, I would hold it up, but I've got yarn hanging off of it right now because I used another skein. Basically, I used another skein to add the rows on the two rows on the one panel before seaming it together. So this way, so I've got literally two skeins of yarn hanging off of her cardigan at this point. I would hold it up, but I don't want to get the stitches yanked out or make a mess out of it right now. Okay, but she does try it on, and you'll see pictures of it. So I will post those at the end of the video for you to see. In Jess's pattern, I went back and noticed a paragraph where she explained how to put more depth in the back panel on just the one side. Only the one side out of the 6. Not all 6 sides, just the one. Okay, I took little one's cardigan apart because I already have her shoulders seamed up. So that's why I took out another skein of yarn. And I went up and then down. And then on the other one, I also went up. And then I joined together as I went down. Okay, so that's why I've got more than one skein of yarn hanging off of it. Had her try it on. And the additional 4 rows in the back give her more space that she now has growth room in it, and she's happy with it. In addition, as she's pulling it around the front, and I keep telling her stop doing that, I have to add rows onto the front too. She asked if I could put buttons on it. So I've been set with a challenge by her to go ahead and see if I can put buttons on it because of the fact that the holes in the granny squares, in the granny stitches, will work nicely for buttons to slide through. So I will, accept her challenge and we'll go forward with that. Okay. My video will explain mine at the end, okay? And it will work. It will work, all right? The next thing up is the beaded work in progress. And Melanie, this is you, okay? This is the banner. This is the top of the windsock, okay? And here's those colors that you chose. They came out nice. When the turquoise is used in place of the pink that's normally used, it works out nice still, okay? So that came out. Sorry for the shimmer from the sun coming through, okay? All right, I'm not done with this yet. I will be finishing this portion in the morning, okay, or tomorrow. And Ella, I will be starting yours tomorrow so that I have the 2 banners done, and then all I have to concentrate at once is just on the strips and the hanger, okay? So that's how that looks, and that's how that progresses, okay? All right. And when I finish that, I will go ahead and take pictures of it so everyone can see it. Now, the other thing is that because this is being remade, the original one that I made not only had pink beads in it next to the red, so the purple and the red were separated with the pink instead because there's no turquoise in it. It just goes from light green to medium green and then straight over to the blue. The problem with the one outside, and as I had stated in my beaded Windsock video for everyone to see, is that the beads have sun faded or frosted. They're no longer transparent like these are. So those cannot be sold. And I do apologize for that. So even if those are selected, they'll simply just be remade. And they work up, the patterns work up really quick and easy for me. There's not a problem with it and all. It's that they take about a week. I started this banner portion, the top portion of this one, 2 days ago. Did not get any work done on it today because it was an errands and appointment day. But I will finish this one tomorrow, and then I'll get started on the Ladybug banner top tomorrow, and we'll see how long that takes me. It shouldn't take me more than a day or two, because the strips are what take a little bit of finagling. Especially for this one, they'll take a little bit longer, but for the Ladybug, because they're solid, they will only take me a day or two at the most, okay? And then I'll do up the top where the hanger goes. All right? So once this one is completed, I'll show a progress update on this one, okay? All right. Acquisitions. I made out a little bit like a bandit at the Dollar Tree. Now, I didn't overindulge because I want to stay in good graces with somebody, okay? But, excuse me, little ones come down with allergies, and I think I'm coming down with them too. Anyway, I apologize for the crinkle sounds, okay? My Dollar Tree got in some additional colors in the sachet. Now, if you remember, I started out with 2 packages of 3 each of Congo. Well, I found some more. And these were in a bin, okay? I found Boogie, and it's purple. And for the shawl that's being made, I'm going to need 2 for me and 1 for little one, because she sees purple and she's like me, she lights up. Okay. I also found what looks to me like Bumblebee, okay, but it's called Golden Black, and I got 2 of those, okay. All right. Next up, I got Platinum. And it's like a silver. It's real pretty, okay? It's a gray, but it really does look like it's silver and all. And all of these are going to be made into the same shawl that I shared the pattern with a friend. And it's going to be interesting to see how it comes out in the purple, the platinum, the gold black, and the Congo. So there's going to be a number of shawls all made out of the same thing. So it'll be nice to see how it works up. Okay. Excuse me. In addition, I picked up something. If you remember back in a previous video, I picked up some light crochet thread to make eyes with. Okay. In this case, I picked up one in 3 count, size 3 thread, in order to try and get an idea of the Whisper shawl that I picked up for free on the blog hop, that pattern Paradise Pattern hosted for the month of May. And the Whisper shawl is the last shawl that was available, okay? And the Whisper shawl uses the it's a wrap rainbow in the colorway Whisper. And in the pattern, the designer started with the outside cream or white color that then progresses into the edging that comes out with the purplish green color. Okay? Now, my problem is not with the strands, but with seeing the stitches. So I picked up this in order to try and see what it is that I'm doing stitch wise. So this is a solid color. Okay. Well, as it turns out, I got partially through the second row and almost had a dog in my lap. Don't know why. Don't want to know why. So I'm going to take this back out and try one more time. And the suggestion of the bead on the 4 strands works great. I was, like I said, I was working it, but I was having trouble seeing the stitches. And that's why I wanted to get a solid color to try and see it again through the stitches and all. The bead tip works great. It does in fact keep all of those strands from separating and from getting a mind of their own. So it worked out nicely, okay? Needless to say, I'll go back to the drawing board, if not tonight, tomorrow with this, to see if I can't see the construction of the pattern so I can get a better feel of the yarn. It's a wrapped rainbow, so that I can make that shawl, because I love how it comes out. And the nice thing is that once I get to row 5 and 6, the pattern repeats at that point up until excuse me, like row 48, when you're 14 inches from completion is how it's put. So row 5 and 6 will continue to repeat until you get to a point where you're ready to put on the shell stitches. Okay, so once I get to that point, I'll be happy. But right now, it's just a matter of getting past row 2 and row 3, and then row 4, and then getting to row 5. So that's where my challenge is at in there. The other thing that I did also was I took the remains of a green yarn from the Holly's mystery cow make from her birthday shawl, and I started to try and see where I was at in that. And I noticed in the 3rd row it says there's 8 single crochets, and if I did it right, even in that yarn right here, whoops, there's my glasses attached to it. This is the 3rd row. The 3rd row says there's 8 single crochets, and each time I count this, I am only counting 6. I'm only counting 6 single crochets in that 3rd row, not 8. So that's why I did it up in the yarn, to see if maybe I was missing something. And I keep going back over it and over it and over it, and I'm still only getting 6 single crochets, not 8. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've gone over that row maybe 4 or 5 times. And I think there's just a small counting error that I don't see the 8, I only see the 6. That's why I did it up in a bigger yarn. Now my next trick is to do it up in this and see if I'm still missing the 2 that I don't see in the yarn when I do it up in the crochet thread. Okay, so that's why I got this one. This one for me, this little ball here, or cake, skein, whatever we want to call it, this here will be for the It's a Wrap yarns to see the pattern first, because it's slightly thicker and bigger than those strands, and then this way I can see what I'm doing and then go to the pattern with the right yarn and go ahead and see what I can make of it. Okay, so that's the one thing I'm looking at, is that row 3, I just keep coming up with 6 and not 8, and I keep thinking I've made an error somewhere, but I keep looking at it and I don't see the error. I even counted it in the pattern itself, and I'm still only coming up with a total of 6 in the directions, in the stitches. So where there's 8, I don't know. I like I said, I think it's a small little error. Okay. All right. Moving on to shout-outs. Okay, this podcast's shout-outs, and I hope I did mention that this is that this is podcast number 8. Okay, and this week's shout-outs go to Blaine and Loretta Baldwin of oh, I already got that one last week. That was my misnotation. Okay, well, Blaine, you've got a second shout out just for yourself. I love how her mom and her sit there and chit chat with everyone and crochet while they're at it. And little Mia keeps running in and out and in and out and in and out. I would allow little one to do that. However, Papa has requested that she not be in the videos. She can say hi and all, but that's about it. But he doesn't want her seen. Okay. All right. Next up is Cheryl Boltz with C Boltz with Yarn and Hook. She makes some amigurumis, and she's got like maybe 2 or 3 computers going at a time when she's checking on this, checking on that, and having her podcasts and all. She's a lot of fun, and I especially love her amigurumis. They're something else. They really are. And she did up a frog that ooh, don't let my daughter see that one. She'll want it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl, for the fun chit chats that you have in there. Okay, next up is Foxy Creations with Petra Sosa. Petra is in Texas. She's got 3 kids, and she does a lot of shawl designs, and I'm eager to actually get into making some of those shawls. She's got tutorials for them. She also does the amigurumi puzzle ball, and I don't know if that's separate for her from another person who I also know does amigurumi puzzle ball, because she calls it the Amish puzzle ball, and that's what you'll find a number of her other creations under is called Amish puzzle items. Okay, so to Petra, you know, I love the ball. Thank you for the tutorial, the video tutorial for it. It looks really good. I can't wait to get started on that when I'm not focused on other things right now. And I especially am looking forward to getting onto a couple of your shawls, including the Midnight shawl, I believe. Oh, excuse me, my nose is itching so bad right now. I'm looking for like a blue or purple yarn to do that one with, because it just looks absolutely awesome, and I love the name of it, Midnight. Okay. So go ahead and give her a look-see and a shout. And like I said, she even made up one blanket for her son based on both the Pennywise clowns from the original TV miniseries It and the new movie It. And she basically took the 2 halves of the clown and put it down the middle, and she did up both sides of it. That blanket came out awesome. It really did, Petra. I like it, although I'm getting to a point where I don't care for clowns anymore. But I have to say, you did a fantastic job on that blanket. You really did. Okay. Happiness is Homemade. I've only started watching her recently. I know that she at least has one daughter, and she makes scattering of different things and all, and then she shares with everybody. Okay, and her name escapes me. I apologize for that. But go ahead and check her out as well and see what all she's got going on with her endeavors. Okay, next up is one of my first and my favorites, Happytohook with Least Flowers and Amanda. Amanda has not been on as of late. I think she's still recovering from her surgery that she had back at the beginning of May, I believe. I'm looking forward to seeing her again when she gets back up there. But Lisa is posting at least once a week, and she's doing all kinds of things, especially for her little ones. She wanted a dress made for the next day, so Lisa was busy as a mad woman trying to get that dress ready for her granddaughter Jordan, I think it was. And she did it up in a color of mint with a white trim on it. It came out really nice. Kudos to you, Lisa, for getting that done as quick as you could, because in my book I would not have been able to succeed. I'm sorry. But more power to you, girl. Okay, I look forward to seeing more of your videos, and I'm glad that you enjoyed your vacation. I'm sorry to hear that some things got lost on the way back. Okay, next up I have Heart Hook Home with Ashleigh, and again, I'm not even going to try and chop up your last name. I'm going to respect that. She's got a shawl that I'm interested in. She has that bag that I did up a couple of podcasts back. I have not been back to her webpage yet to go through some of the other patterns to see what there is, but I am looking forward to getting that done and seeing what other shawls I can find, because like I said, I just love shawls for some reason, and it's just something that you can wrap yourself in to either stay comfortable, stay warm, or just to show off someone's work, or even your work, depending on where the shawl was picked up at. No. Okay. Lastly is Heaven's Piecemaker. Again, I'm sorry I don't have a name to go with that one. She's fairly new. She has her podcast, I think, every other week. And when she's got things to talk about, she will talk to you about them. And it's great listening to her. Whether it's listening to how her day is going, or how her week is going and all, or just because she just wants to talk. She wants to share her acquisitions or what projects she's working on. She's a sweet gal, and you should give her a shout out as well. And those are the shout outs for this week. Trust me, I will get through this list. It's a big list, and I'm going to get through them. Those that are have bigger numbers and all, like upwards of over 5K, I'm going to put more towards the end, because I want to try and give the newbies and the new upstarts a chance to get going with them and get them recognized and get them out there also. Okay, so that's what's going on. I enjoyed chatting with everyone today, and everyone have a good upcoming weekend, and I'll talk to y'all again next week. Have fun, everybody. Bye-bye. Hey all, it's Tammy. This is an update on one of the two Campfire Cardigans, and this one is on mine, okay? I got two 17 clusters along the side, and went ahead and folded it in half the way it's supposed to be for the L shape, okay? And loosely chain 3 single crocheted just to give me a reference for the sleeve, okay? And I intend to take it back out, all right? But I wanted to see arm-wise, because I am a chunky girl, I will not deny that and all, and I wanted to see how it would fit here, okay? So, like I said, I've loosely done that with just chain 3s and single crochets as a temp situation, temp stitches, that's it. It's not permanent, it's temp, because as Sarah Satch is always saying, is measure, 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 okay? I want to measure by making sure that this is going to fit me, because this one is for me, okay? So I have loosely just done a row of, like I said, chain 3s and single crochets. That's it. So it's temporary, it's not permanent. So I can take it back out. And this is, again, this is 17 granny clusters. Okay. I'm going to put my arm in and see how it fits right here. I don't know. I think that will do, since I'm going to be adding more rows on here anyway. Once the jacket itself is made, or the cardigan itself is seamed together, I know I'm going to be adding more rows on here, so it will come around to my liking to fit me and all. But this is what I was looking at, was here, and I think that will work. 17. I could go ahead and do another row, but I think I'll go ahead and leave it at 17. Okay, so that's the progress update on this one. All right, thanks everybody. Hey y'all, it's a cardigan update, and this one is little one's cardigan, and I'm going to show you how it looks at the moment. Okay. Alright. Now last night I was working on this, and working on the bottom rows, okay, to put the bottom on the cardigan so it comes down below her butt. Alright. And I kept thinking that I noticed with her that it seemed to fit her evenly. It body formed her. And the thing is that I wanted a little bit of growth room. Well, while I was working on the bottom rows of the cardigan so that it'll come down below her butt, something kept telling me, go back to the pattern. You missed something. Go back to the pattern. So I went back to the pattern, and I noticed a notation in the third paragraph before the start of the hexagon, that if you wanted a deeper appearance where they're joined in the back, refer to the cardigan bottom for that step, to add rows on the 6th side of the hexagon panels so that you can make it a little bit wider going across the back, so that it will fit without having to add a lot of rows in front, and because it will work out across the back so that your sleeves will fit where they should. Okay, I have decided that even though I have this joined both at the top, at the sleeves, and I actually turned it inside out and did a outer loop slip stitch across the top and then turned it right side out so that the seam kind of disappears in there a little bit. Okay, I can see in a couple spots, you know, with the blue against the purple, it happens. Okay, but when I seamed up hers, not thinking that I would need a couple extra rows on one side and in the back for her, I joined as I went with number 5 to number 6, proceeded down to the bottom, made the turn, and did the 6th side on the second panel that way, so that when I started the when I started the cardigan bottom, I just had to follow the directions and just go across the bottom and go back and forth and go back and forth and go back and forth. However, like I said, it fits her, and I wanted some growth room in there, so I'm going to have to undo the seam, undo the 2 panels, okay, where I joined them, add the additional 2 rows on, and then sew it or join it back together. Okay, now the one thing also I did with hers is that I left some space in the shoulder for her neck. Now I don't know if I'm going to need to go back and then take one of the clusters and stitch it again, or if I'm going to go ahead and leave it, because she likes it when the collar comes down, but at the same time, okay, the collar there, she likes it when the collar comes down, but like I said, there's no growth room in the back for her, so I'm essentially going to frog part of this back and redo it. Okay, and she's really liking this, she really is. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do that and put a couple more rows in the back, probably 2 on each of the 2 sides, and then join it back together. And then actually what I'll do is not do a permanent join, but do the temporary join like I showed you with mine, is do a temporary join first, have her try it and see where it's at, and see if we want to go ahead and leave it or if we want to go back to what we had originally. So it'll be up to her. Okay, so this is the update on her cardigan, and it's looking nice. She likes it, but like I said, I want to see about adding those 2 rows in the back first, and see if it'll give her more room in it, because right now when she tries it on, she takes it and she does this with it. So, and I have to keep reminding her, it's not done, it's not done, don't do that. But she's a lot of fun and all. And I will insert pictures at the end of this clip so that you can see her in it, both on the back and on the side where the sleeve is. Okay, and like I said, it's progressing, but it's not quite there yet, and I will be able to get this done in time for her birthday, so that she can have it that night if it gets nice and chilly. Okay, that's all for now. I'll go ahead and let you go, and I'll be back with another clip later. Bye bye.